welcome back to the channel. I'm Stacy and you're watching Pop Culture Time Machine, where we hit rewind and relive the legendary, the cringy, and the unforgettable moments that happened this very week, way back when. All right, let's kick it off with the Carpenters' version of Please Mr. Postman. Hit number one on the Billboard Hot 100 on January 25th, 1975. It wasn't just another chart topper, it resonated in pop culture on several levels. The song was originally a 1961 hit by the Marvettes, and it was historically important because it became Motown's first song to reach number one on the Billboard Hot 100. When the Carpenters version topped the charts again in 1975, it showed the enduring power of classic pop songwriting that a tune from the early 1960s could be reinterpreted and still connected with audiences more than a decade later. By reworking a Motown/early 1960s classic into the Carpenters' smooth, soft pop style. The song helped bring a vintage sound back into the mainstream at a time when rock, disco, and singer-songwriter pop were dominating, showing how earlier pop milestones influenced 1970s music. This became the third and final number one pop hit of the Carpenters' career, solidifying their place as one of the most popular pop acts of the 1970s and one of the era's defining soft rock duos. It's rare for the same song to hit number one in different decades with different artists, but the Carpenters' achievement tied them to earlier chart history and emphasized how a well crafted song can transcend eras, appealing to multiple generations of listeners. Their success helped keep Motown classics visible in popular culture. It reminded audiences as well of the importance of earlier African American musical innovators and the broad appeal of the Motown sound, even as pop taste shifted through the 1960s and 1970s. In short, the Carpenters' Please Mr. Postman reaching number one on Billboard in 1975 meant more than just chart success. It revived a classic for new pop audiences, cementing the Carpenters' place in the 1970s music culture and highlighting the lasting influence of early Motown and girl group pop on later decades of popular music. Now, let's not forget those iconic award shows, like the first Emmy Awards ceremony, retroactively called the first Primetime Emmy Awards, which was held on January 25th, 1949. It took place at the Hollywood Athletic Club in Los Angeles, California. The event was organized by the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences to honor excellence in the then new medium of television. Only local Los Angeles shows were eligible that first year, and six awards were given. Tickets weren't expensive, about $5 at the time, and the ceremony was modest compared with today's Emmy telecast. The first Emmys didn't just hand out shiny awards, they marked an important turning point in television's rise as a major cultural medium. In 1949, television was still new. Only a fraction of the U.S. households had TV sets, and programming was considered experimental entertainment. The creation of the Emmys helped formalize TV as a legitimate art form and industry, encouraging higher quality in both entertainment and technical innovation. Although the first ceremony was local, the awards soon expanded nationwide by the early 1950s to celebrate excellence across the U.S. as television grew in popularity. The Emmys would go on to shape how audiences and creators value television, spotlighting breakthrough shows, performances, and creative achievements. Over the decades, Emmy wins and nominations have helped launch careers, boost show viewership, and signal cultural trends in storytelling. In short, the first Emmys on January 25th, 1949 symbolized television's transition from a fledgling technology to a major cultural force, eventually becoming one of the most watched and talked about award events in entertainment. Here's your Did You Know of the Week. On January 27th, 1984, while filming a Pepsi commercial, pyrotechnics went off way too early. Michael Jackson's hair caught fire, causing second-degree burns to his scalp. The incident was accidental and happened during a routine performance setup. The accident exposed how dangerous and demanding global superstardom could be. Michael Jackson was at the absolute peak of fame, so during the Thriller era, the moment symbolized how far celebrities were pushed for spectacle, perfection, and branding. It changed how people viewed fame, not just glamorous, but risky and intense. Before the accident, Michael Jackson was seen as mostly joyful, superhuman kind of performer. After the accident, the public became much more aware of his vulnerability. Media narratives increasingly focused on his physical and emotional struggles. Many fans marked this point as the start of a more tragic tone surrounding his life story. The incident forced advertisers and production companies to rethink safety standards. It became a landmark case showing that commercials and branding could be just as dangerous as films if safety wasn't prioritized. Pepsi later settled with Jackson, and the industry became more cautious with pyrotechnics. Michael Jackson donated much of the settlement money to create the Heal the World Foundation, shifting part of his public identity toward humanitarian work. In short, the hair on fire incident wasn't just an accident, it became a pop culture turning point, showing the human costs behind global fame and reshaping how audiences, companies, and artists think about celebrity, safety, and spectacle. And that's your nostalgic rewind. This week in pop culture history gave us everything. What's your favorite throwback moment? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a ride in the pop culture time machine. Until next week, stay nostalgic, stay fabulous.